Add a cable line, motion builds, and one open reel breaks routine. Inside a cable plant, a worker operates near an active winding unit. The rotating drum organizes long cable lines while another worker monitors production flow nearby. The setup looks smooth, but one exposed section of the reel spins without a guard, turning a routine process into a hidden risk. The reel turns steadily, its hum deepening as speed builds. A loose section catches air, spinning close to the open gap. The floor trembles faintly, motion pushing against control. Operators step in fast, shutting down the system before tension can turn into trouble. Never, ever rush through a process that demands precision. Control begins long before the first move. Every check builds confidence. Every pause protects balance. On a busy street, one moment turns roadside maintenance into chaos. A maintenance crew is stationed along the roadside, a bright yellow service truck parked with hazard lights flashing. Workers focus near an open manhole, handling cables and tools while vehicles move steadily past in the adjacent lane. The operation looks controlled, cone set, equipment steady, but the team works just a few meters from live traffic. Without warning, a passing vehicle brushes the setup's buffer zone, jolting the maintenance truck and shaking the platform. The vibration ripples through the work zone, exposing how fragile control becomes when barriers are incomplete. Never ever rely on cones or lights alone for protection. Always establish physical barriers, lane closures, and traffic control before beginning roadside work. Inside a steel mill, molten metal meets a shift in control. Work continues on the upper platform as the crane positions a ladle for the next pour. Coordination between operators keeps timing precise. The furnace hums steadily while workers prepare for flow transfer, ensuring the path and guardrails are ready. Around them, every sound echoes discipline and routine. As the ladle tilts, the metal stream shifts, its path glinting under the furnace glow. Heat ripples through the platform as the flow veers past its guide, splashing light across the rails. Operators act fast, adjusting the crane to steady the pour and bring the rhythm back under control. True control means staying one step ahead of every shift. Never ever let confidence replace confirmation. Mechanical rhythm demands human precision to stay in sync. On a busy conveyor line, one small reach turns a routine task into a near miss. Inside a packaging facility, boxes move rhythmically along the conveyor. Near the loading end, a worker adjusts a parcel that's jammed at the edge, leaning forward to free it. The movement seems harmless, almost part of the rhythm of the shift. As the worker reached to free the jam, the parcel was suddenly caught and dragged by the conveyor's motion. The shift in force jolted the line, throwing boxes down the chute as the belt kept running. Nearby, workers rushed to stop the system, ending the brief but chaotic chain reaction. Reaching across active conveyors breaks the boundary between control and risk. Never, ever reach over a running line to correct or grab a load. Stop motion, secure footing, and keep every adjustment within stable reach. Two forklifts move fast in a packed warehouse, and paths cross in an instant. Inside a busy distribution warehouse, pallets, wrapping material, and crates fill every corner. Operators navigate narrow lanes, each focused on stacking and transport. The floor hums with steady activity, and visibility drops where tall stacks block line of sight. Every move depends on timing, awareness, and clear communication. Engines hum through the aisle as one forklift reverses, its warning beeper echoing off the stacks. Another turns the corner from the far end, both machines closing the gap in a shared blind spot. Tires squeal lightly against the floor before each operator halts, awareness snapping into focus. Never, ever move through blind warehouse corners without signaling or sound alert. In tight zones, limited sight lines mean timing alone can't ensure safety. Communication keeps motion predictable for everyone. One wrong move near live lines, and the rooftop goes still. A narrow street lined with old brick homes. The midday sun beats down as a worker climbs to the edge of a rooftop to clear loose debris. He leans close, tool in hand, unaware of how near the overhead power lines are. On the ground, people pass beneath, unaware of the hidden danger forming just overhead. As the tool lifts higher, it nears the invisible field around the live lines. The air hums faintly, static dancing where metal meets charged space. In a flash, the current arcs toward ground, jolting the system and sending the crew into urgent shutdown mode. Precision comes from patience. Never, ever let pressure rush decisions between checks. The strongest control is calm control, built from time, not tension. Inside a busy auto shop, routine tire inflation meets pressure gone wrong. It's a regular morning inside a small vehicle workshop. The sound of tools, compressors, and chatter fills the air. A mechanic prepares to inflate a tire on the stand while nearby. Others continue their work. The environment feels ordinary, controlled, predictable, but compressed systems never stay passive for long. Air flows steady, the hiss of compression fading beneath the noise of the shop. The tire flexes slightly, a ripple under pressure. Then a sharp burst cracks the rhythm of work, a flash of sound echoing off the walls before silence returns. Every head turns, a reminder of how control can vanish in an instant. Never, ever inflate or seat a tire without proper restraints, distance, and a safety cage. Compressed air under tension demands controlled conditions, never direct handling or close exposure. On an offshore platform, a routine task reveals the danger of weakened support. It's night shift out at sea. Lights reflect off the metal surface of a raised workdeck where two crew members are inspecting a section near a riser assembly. The structure bears constant vibration from heavy operations. Its frame aged, its surface marked by exposure. Everything appears steady, but unseen stress has been working through the supports below. During the task, the deck surface shifts slightly under load. The team notes reduced rigidity and pauses work to investigate. On inspection, corrosion and worn bolts are found beneath the frame, a clear warning of how unseen fatigue can silently erode structural strength. Structural integrity begins with verification, not trust. Every beam, weld, and fastener carries unseen load shaped by time and vibration. Inspection, reinforcement, and documentation keep strength from silently turning into weakness. In a cotton yard piled high with fiber, a single spark changes the air in an instant. It's a typical afternoon in a rural cotton yard. Bundles of fiber are being loaded from a small truck while workers manage the heaps nearby. The air is thick with cotton dust, light, dry, and easily disturbed. Everything looks calm and routine, but the environment carries a hidden risk. One ignition source, and the entire space becomes volatile. During loading, a small heat source flickers nearby, unnoticed against the bright daylight. In seconds, the warmth meets suspended fibers, and the air shifts. Dust flares briefly, a flash of light rippling across the piles before workers react to secure the area. Calm turns to urgency as the yard fills with haze and movement. Never, ever introduce ignition sources near combustible fibers, dust, or vapors. Cotton, grain, or similar materials can ignite faster than expected, especially in confined or dusty air. At a loading yard, one lift crosses its limit and balance gives way. In a busy loading area, a forklift operator positions a heavy metal fixture, preparing to move it across the yard. The surface looks firm, the operation routine. Nearby, a worker stands close, watching the movement unfold. But the load on the forks is massive, heavier than standard capacity. As the operator tilts the mast backward, the weight presses beyond balance. The forklift shifts forward under strain, its frame creaking as control steadies just in time. The moment drives home how quickly rated limits turn into instability when margins are ignored. Never, ever lift beyond a forklift's rated capacity. Overloading doesn't just strain the machine, it erases the margin for control. Capacity plates exist for a reason. Know the numbers. Respect the limits before motion begins. Don't forget to share what you learned today in the comments. Your insight could save a life. Take care.